Hi, and welcome along to a brand new European football show called All Around Europe. And you know what? One of the reasons why we've done this show, looking at this comment right here, I've got to get it. Box of Oranges 84, he says, this is why Don Robbie is the GOAT. He says, giving some love to the other leagues,
exactly,
even other sports. Not everything revolves around the English Premier League.
We rate that. We rate that. Thank you.
Right, and this is why we've got some experts in the studio with me today to talk about the football in their leagues. Joining me, we've got Parisian Londoner, right? Of course,
thanks
Stuart,
for having me, as usual.
Regular on the channel,
Thanks
representing French football. We know that he's a massive PSG fan. We've got Alessandro here, massive AC Milan fan, right? They were the champions last year, of course, of Italy. Here to tell us all about the Italian league and representing Spanish football and, of course, Real Madrid, the one and only Raul. Great to have you on board as well. And guys, listen, it's fantastic to have you guys because I love watching. I'm a person, I watch all football. I love watching football from all around Europe, right? And really taking in some of the great games. And there's some good football over the weekend. One of the games I watched over the weekend was PSG versus, well, I always say Reims, but I found that it's Rams.
Rams. Yeah, it's the city of Champagne. Come on.
That's right. The city
you should know about it.
Yeah,
Robbie,
Champagne City.
Champagne.
Weren't exactly champagne football, I've got to say. I watched the game, right? Weren't exactly champagne football. One of the reasons why I was really interested in the game, of course, was because there's an Arsenal player, of course, my team, on loan there in Balogun, who's been playing really well this season, hasn't he? Even though Rams haven't been that great, but he's been playing really well. But it's a game that Rams versus PSG, that PSG was expected to win pretty easily. You were without Messi in the game. He was out injured, but he's expected to win very easily. But I've got to say, Rams played really, really well. And then PSG went down to 10 men. Ramos sent off again.
Because of a dodgy ref.
We're going to get to it.
Because of a dodgy ref, Robbie. Because of a dodgy ref.
Ramos sent off, and you can relate to this because he used to be 28 times in his career.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's a bit complicated, but I saw as well this action.
Yeah,
I am not sure about what he said.
Well, there's no mic, so you cannot really tell. But the thing is, what we know about the ref is that in 7 games, he's delivered exactly 6 red cards and 26 yellow cards in 7 games. So what I'm trying to say is that that's the type of ref that you cannot mess with.
Yeah, but hold on. Ramos. First of all, he got booked, yeah? So that's the second yellow. It actually all happened in the same thing.
It's not a straight red, it's a second yellow, yeah.
He got booked, but then he continued complaining and saying stuff to the ref. Now, he must have said something to the ref that has made the ref say to himself, oh, what, you're going to get the second yellow here?
Again, Verratti is always doing this, for example. Always.
He was lucky.
He could have got one as well.
Because obviously every game, Verratti is getting a yellow, but it's in every league as well, not necessarily with PSG and the French league. It's just that you always argue with the ref if you're not happy with the decision. It's just that what we need to find out now is what's been said, and we don't know what's been said. And what we think is that the ref has thought he said was towards one of his teammates and not towards the ref, and the ref thought it was for him. So he said, okay, that's the second yellow, you're out. And he killed the game. First half as well. So on the top of this, Mbappe was ill. That's why he had an awful game. To be fair, let's be real.
Oh, he was ill because, he did have a bit of a
No, he was not supposed to play that game. Neymar was experiencing some discomfort as well. Messi was injured. I think Messi is not going to play tomorrow against Benfica as well.
Yeah, the talk is that he's out of that game.
Exactly. On the top of this, we have Kimpembe injured, so we have this new defender as well that is a bit shaky. And again, midfield is shaky. That's not a game to pay attention to in my opinion.
Are you a bit worried about that Benfica game? Because I have to say, I thought he was a bit lucky last week to get out of that game with a draw.
I think it's a fair draw in the sense that we had more pressure because we always struggle against Benfica. But I think that was a fair draw. It was an awful game for the fans, by the way, if I can just add this. The police was super heavy-handed with us. The stewards as well. So big up to the PSG fans that went away to Lisbon. But yeah, now it's time to pay back, and we are waiting for them tomorrow.
Okay, well, before you pay back, right, let's just go back to your game again. Neymar. I love Neymar, man, but...
Frustrating, is it?
It's just always on the floor, rolling around, theatrics. Now, in this game in particular, I know you were down to 10 men and it was very frustrating. He was what was wrong with him in the game? I mean, he was just moaning and whinging about everything, wasn't he?
Again, he was not supposed to play. He's not in a good mood these days. I don't know what's happening, but it's the same with Neymar. It's always inconsistent, in my opinion. It's just that he's a frustrating player to watch. He decides when he wants to be decisive. Otherwise, he's just doing whatever the hell he wants. And when we need him, sometimes if he's not willing to help, he's not going to help. So, and that's what happened against Reims. So. To be fair, we could have probably lost on a mistake.
So they had a few chances.
Not too bad. The good news about the weekend is that those Marseille guys, they lost.
All right, well let me
against Ajaccio like a bottom.
Let me run through the results.
Team.
Let me run through the results. Of course, as I said, Rams 0, Paris Saint-Germain 0. Marseille 1, Ajaccio 2, which was the shock result of the weekend. Lille 1, Lens 0, Rennes 3, Nantes 0, Nice 3, Troyes 2. That was a welcome win for Nice. Clermont 2, Auxerre 1, Brest 1, Lorient, who were flying high 2, Angers 2, Strasbourg 3, and Montpellier 0. Monaco 2. Now, you dropped points by, drawing the game, but the real shock was Marseille. Marseille losing that game. And of course, the big one that everybody's looking forward to is this weekend.
Yes.
When first place, third now, Marseille dropping to third after that defeat. But Marseille versus PSG.
So excited, really.
This is going to be some game. And
you're
going to the game.
I'll be in Paris as well for the occasion. And I was surprised with Marseille's result, considering the game they had against Sporting Lisbon just before that game. They had. You can always argue the ref was a bit weird, but and the goalkeeper as well. But no, they had an amazing game against Sporting Lisbon, I have to admit. So after this game, I would have thought it will be a walk in the park for them with Ajaccio. And no, that's great for us. And
Ajaccio, bottom of the league.
Bottom, yeah. So, but there's a bit of a not like a local rivalry between them as well, because they are located in the south of France, in Corsica.
Yeah.
So it's just across the sea, basically. It's the island in front of Marseille. Yeah. So I know there's they like, but they don't really like us and them as well, each other. So no, I think this weekend we need to smash them. We need to humiliate them. We need at least three to 4 goals difference. Like
tell us about how big a game this is, because in French football, this is the biggest game in French football, isn't it? Marseille versus PSG.
Yes, so it comes back to the 90s and also the 2000s when we had this rivalry between our two respective presidents. But there's always been this competition between Marseille and Paris as cities as well. We are the capital city. Everyone hates the capital city in every, same for Madrid, in every country anyway. And there's a bit of jealousy towards us. That's what we think as well. We have fashion, we have good taste and stuff like that.
And you spent a lot of money as
and
well.
we have money now as well. But back in the days, the competition was tougher between each other. Now the difference is massive, obviously in terms of investment, etc., etc. So we always smash them. That's just a fact. But now, this season, and I think the season before as well, they start to be more competitive. That's what I'm looking forward to, and we missed this as well, because that's what we were looking for, some actual, real competition between the two clubs. If there's no competition, the flavor of it is not the same. It's like you smashing Tottenham all the time, or Liverpool, for example. But there's this lack of flavor. It's not the same. But yeah, that's a massive game in France, and especially when we're playing at home. And hopefully we're gonna smash them.
Confident you get a win in that game?
100%. I think so. It's just that we're gonna miss some players, key players. Yeah. Messi might not play as well, and also the midfield is looking different. The defense, but let's see how it goes. But I think we have the tools to smash them. Yeah.
Okay.
I saw your team, are you expecting the same team this week in front of Benfica? Like, or you want to reserve some player for the next weekend? Because, sorry, the last question, I saw too many Spanish players.
Carlos Soler and Fabian Ruiz, yeah.
So both of them,
yes,
and you draw. So I don't know if you are expecting the same lineup for.
Carlos Soler had an awful game. To be fair, Fabian Ruiz is getting better. Is getting better and better. But Pablo Sarabia will actually replace Messi tomorrow instead of the other striker that we signed called Hugo Ekitike, who is coming from Stade de Reims, by the way. Who has played a little bit this season, but he's not really convincing. To be fair, I'm not really happy with him. I prefer.
He hasn't scored yet. Has
Nothing. Nothing. Very frustrating. But Pablo Sarabia is way better than him anyway. So I think the team will look a little bit the same. I agree. Yeah. Again, plenty of key players that are injured that we're missing. Exactly. Danilo is 50-50 this season as well. You know, he scored an own goal against Benfica, you know, so he's a bit shaky. But I think it will be the same lineup, yeah.
Okay, well, let's go to Spain now, right? Because there's a lot of big derbies going on this weekend. So as I just said,
Classico and
PSG versus
Marseille.
versus Marseille. The game that a lot of people say is the biggest game in the world, which of course is El Classico. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. This is a huge game. Just before we get into that game, let me just remind you of the results in La Liga this weekend. Getafe 0, Real Madrid 1. Real Madrid's just scraping that. We're going to come back to that. Sevilla 1, Atletico Bilbao 1, Atletico Madrid 2, Genoa 1, Almeria 3, Rayo Vallecano 1, Barcelona 1, Celta Vigo 0, Real Sociedad 1, Villarreal 0, Cadiz 2, Espanyol 2, and Real Valladolid 0, Real Betis 0. Now, Getafe, which again, that's a bit of a derby, isn't it? That's the
yeah,
Getafe.
The same. It's outside of the city.
Just outside Madrid, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So close. You just scraped that one.
So lucky. It's true that we keep the ball, but at the end, we finish the game just asking for the time, like Barcelona.
Holding on.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly what happened this year, but we are not getting too many goals. We are suffering a lot. Like
Benzema hasn't been on fire like he was last year.
No. It's the same. Benzema gonna play tomorrow, sure.
They miss a real striker, Robbie. Haaland or Mbappe.
Well, they wanted Mbappe, didn't they?
And they wanted Haaland as well.
It there because you wanted Mbappe, you didn't get Mbappe.
They're complaining about Benzema.
And you are sort of missing that striker at the moment because...
Exactly. Because we didn't see Hazard. Yes, we have Mariano, and now we can play with Rodrigo. But at the end, Rodrigo is not just a striker at 100%. So it's true that Rodrigo did a great job in 2 games, but I just listened now, Ancelotti, and he said they're going to play with a different player tomorrow, but Benzema going to play tomorrow. So
that's against Shakhtar.
Yeah, exactly.
Shakhtar gave you quite a tough game last week. You started off, you was cruising, and then Shakhtar, sort of came back into it, but you should have enough for Shakhtar. Then at the weekend, it's the big one. Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Tell us about this game, right? Tell us about what makes this game, apart from the fact that you're 2 huge clubs, but there's a lot of hatred between the 2 clubs, is there? The 2 sets of fans don't like each other. The 2 clubs don't like each other, do they? This is a historical battle.
Exactly. To be honest, it's true that I don't really hate. I don't gonna kill no one, but it's true that it's the competition. It's too many years, so it's always between us, just Real Madrid or Barcelona. Last a few years ago, just only Atletico Madrid, but not really. But yeah, and every year, every season is different, and it's a massive game between us for the La Liga and for the world. I need to say something is I don't know why they put just all Classico at the same time the Liverpool City.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I would like said how you can do that, but at the end, it's true that every year, every season is a different game.
Who's favourites to win it this year?
I think
because Barcelona have sort of come back into it. They do have a striker in Lewandowski now,
In La
who
Liga,
can
yeah.
put the goals away. We know that Barcelona have heavily invested in the summer.
How? We don't know how,
A
but
lot
they
of people
invested.
say how, how they managed to do it, but
But
they did
they
do
did.
it. But they've invested a lot of money in a lot of very good players, and you can see it's a different Barcelona this year. I mean, are you worried about it?
Not really, because they're having a lot of problem. There are too many problems with the injury. They don't have defender. So just the last weekend they play with three left back. So Jordi Alba and two more.
Koundé and Arejo are out, aren't they?
Koundé is injured.
Arejo.
Sorry?
Arejo.
Koundé is already injured.
Koundé,
Yeah.
who is
No, big fan.
Bellerin and Eriksen. So too many players injured after the national team. So it's true they are not having luck this year. But anyway, it's a Classico. It's a massive game. So, but we are favorite. We are playing at home. So we're gonna reserve players tomorrow in the Champions League, and they need to put the best team tomorrow because they're gonna play the season.
Yeah.
In 15 days, they're going to play 3 important games. Classico, Inter, and Bayern. So,
Big games coming up.
Yeah.
Big games coming up that your fans will, and there's an expectation in this game, isn't it, when it comes to this game, that you win this.
Who has won the most Clásicos?
Barcelona, no?
Barcelona
I think
or Real Madrid?
I think Barcelona. Yeah, Barcelona. But I can sign loss in front of Barcelona this season, this weekend, if I don't know if they are not doing a great, or they go to the UEFA. Or
What I found interesting is we've all been, especially over here in England, sort of looking at this situation between Barcelona and Atletico. Where with Griezmann, of course, French player.
Yes.
Where every time they kept bringing him on for about the last 25 minutes.
Yeah,
of the
because
game.
he has something in his contract.
Yeah, and they don't want to
until yesterday or
which
last
now
weekend.
Atletico
right.
now
They got rid of
have
it.
actually signed Griezmann
Wow.
from Barcelona, so he can actually play
Play
now.
the whole
Yeah,
game.
just for 20 million, just the half. So apparently the contract was 40 million, but apparently the contract was not clear. So they have something in the middle between me. The Barcelona said
I
the
think that
contract
was a big mistake
done.
from Griezmann to go to Barcelona, to be fair. He should have stayed at
I don't know.
Atletico. Like, he ruined his career, in my opinion.
Yeah,
He was
career,
the king
yeah.
at Atletico. He
Yeah.
was smashing it. When he joined Barcelona, it was...
And they need him, eh?
Yes,
Atletico
I
need
know.
him
He should have
because
stayed.
Joao
And
Felix,
especially
in a good
now.
moment, was disaster this year. So as well, they're gonna play 2 massive games in just 15 days. So, but yes, apparently they signed the contract in the lawyer because I don't know. The Barcelona needs money.
Of course they need money.
And the Atletico Madrid say, no, listen, this is the contract, and the contract was not clear. So if the 50%,
They
the
found like a
50%
contractual
of the minutes,
breach.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
that makes
yeah,
sense.
and they just accord this.
Okay, let's. But by the way, who's going to win that game then? So you're confident?
I
Real
am
Madrid.
confident with
But
my
you're playing
team.
home as well.
Yeah, we
Confident.
are playing at home. They don't have line back, so it's true they're gonna play
But
with
they are top
Piqué.
of the league.
So
They are
confident.
top,
They are
of, the
top
league.
of the league, yeah.
Yeah, for the same point. Yeah.
Okay,
Just for
all
the
right.
goals.
Let's move to Italy, right? Serie A, of course. Alessandro, a massive AC Milan fan. Big win for AC Milan at the weekend, beating Juventus by 2-0, piling on the pressure on Allegri. This will just give you the other results. Bologna 1, Sampdoria 1, Sassuolo 1, Inter Milan 2, Roma 2, Lecce 1, Cremonese 1, Napoli the league leaders 4, still banging in the goals there. Udinese 2, Atalanta 2, Salernitana 2, Hellas Verona 1, Monza 2. That's Berlusconi, your old guy. His club. Spezia 0 and Torino 1, Empoli 1. Going to your game, that was the big game of the weekend. AC Milan versus Juventus, and a big win for AC Milan, especially after what happened to you guys against Chelsea.
Yeah, it was a massive win. I think there was something to prove because there was a few players on Wednesday that haven't all all the critics on top of them. One of them especially being Tomori in England.
Yep,
the
he
journalists.
came back and he didn't perform, did he?
But then again, we had a lot of injuries. It was a makeshift defence that the left-backs only played one game this season. Sergino Desta's played a couple 30 minutes, and he was a disaster as well. So it was all on Tomori and Kalulu against Chelsea to stop Aubameyang, Sterling, and obviously Potable, as they're calling it now. They destroyed us, and we really didn't turn up. But
Was you really disappointed? I mean, because I was really disappointed. I know you got injuries, but I was really disappointed in AC Milan.
I was there. I was
you at the game?
I was at the game. It was.
You one of those guys with them black t-shirts on there. I mean, I was like,
cool
everyone's wearing black behind the goal.
Yeah,
you know
cool
what I mean?
Yeah.
But but it was a very disappointing performance by AC, wasn't it?
It was, and well, obviously we're missing big players, but again, there's no excuses. We just didn't turn up. Probably it got to him. But I think at the San Siro tomorrow, we've got Teo Hernandez back, who was literally a game changer against Juventus. At some points, he was even playing at right wing. He's all over the place, like he's everywhere. But yeah, I would say about Juventus, it's they didn't even come out. It looked like they weren't interested. Vlahovic barely touching the ball. There was times where Vlahovic was in CDM trying to pick the ball up. Even and our second goal, Vlahovic was the one who got misplaced the pass, and then Brahim Diaz, who was at Man City and Real Madrid, ran through the team looking like Messi and made it 2-0. But there's something wrong with Juventus.
I was going to ask you that. I mean, you won't care because you're an AC Milan fan, but what's happened to Juventus? I mean, they have just fallen off a cliff. They've got some great players in the team, invested again in the summer in new personnel. As you said, Vlahovic, their big signing. I know it because they nicked him off of us. Arsenal were about to sign him.
PSG players as well, Di Maria.
Yeah, and Di Maria, but they're just not performing. And Allegri, the manager, who's won titles for them before, he's under huge pressure. I mean, there's a lot of people surprised that he's actually still in a job.
He's in a job because they're paying him too much, and I don't think they can afford, with the financial fair play that they're in, to get rid of him. But the style that Allegri plays with some of the players in that team just doesn't work. I mean, Vlahovic is literally starving to get a ball through. I think one of the best players right now for Juventus is Kostic, that came from Frankfurt, because he's the only one trying to create something. Because the way Allegri plays, even when they are winning or they are dominating the game, they're not pushing to get that goal, which is something like a Napoli is doing this season, where they're pushing to get another goal. They're not just staying on 1-0 or at 0-0. They're looking okay.
What about the rumours that Conte could be the guy that they bring back to replace Allegri? I've heard that rumour several times. You think there's anything in that?
I think it is possible. It just depends on what he does at Tottenham. If it goes pear-shaped anymore, I could see him going and going to Juventus, because for him he loves Serie A. He played for Juventus, one of the Juventus legends, but I think it's like a safety net where he can feel like, okay, right now, when I was there wasn't really, I think there was Roma pushing Juventus for the title, and maybe Napoli when Higuain was there, but right now, Napoli, Udinese, Atalanta, Milan, Inter, all these teams that have gotten better over the last couple of seasons, and Juventus are sitting in 7th, 8th. They're not doing very well. Yeah,
it's crazy. The team that is doing really well over there in Serie A is Napoli. I've been very impressed with them. They have been looking really good. They're top of the league at the moment. They're scoring goals. Another 4 for them against Cremonese. They're the team to beat, aren't they?
They are. They're outstanding. The one main thing about Napoli is, I watched this game yesterday and it was 2-1 in the 91st minute. Cremonese was still attacking them. There was only 4 minutes added on, so in about 90 seconds, they would continue to go, and that's something that Napoli hasn't had in the last couple of seasons, and why
They scored
in a
2
way,
goals
they
in
scored 2
late
goals
time, innit?
in 92nd and 93rd.
Wow.
They're going for them goals, whereas like a team like Roma, I know they won 2-1, but Lecce were down to 10 men from the 25th minute, and they conceded 1-1, and then they won off a penalty. But again, another team like Allegri, Mourinho, where he just likes to score 1 goal, sharp shot, and just leave it there instead of attacking and going for more and more. And that's one of the reasons why a team like Napoli right now are smashing it in Serie A, and they're smashing in Champions League.
In Europe as well.
Yeah.
Champions League. Yeah.
They beat Ajax 6-1. They didn't stop. They didn't want to stop.
It is a really impressive way in which they're playing, and they certainly are taking the league by storm at the moment. They're top of the league with 23 points. Atalanta, surprise package. Gasperini there, still doing it. I love watching how his teams play, always attacking as well. They're on 21 points. Udinese, surprise package there in third on 20 points, and Joint on 20 points. I mean, it's really tight at the top.
Yeah, really tight.
AC Milan, so you're just 3 points behind Napoli. And even Roma there on 19 points, and their big rivals Lazio on 17. Back in 7th, Inter on 15, Juventus on 13. Do you think you could repeat it again, AC Milan this year, and win the league?
100%. 100%. We have the players. I know we've got the injuries now, but 100%. Just the way Pioli plays, we can take it. I know this year Napoli are stronger. They made some quality signings. They have forwards that can come on and change a game, whereas last year they didn't, and that was the problem for them. But I think we can do it again. I think
you have a good start this season.
We do have a good start, exactly.
But you have a good start from a fashion perspective as well. Have you seen what you did? PSG launching a collaboration with Off-White.
Off-White's our brand now. Yeah, they are good.
Yeah? How much are they? You going to get one?
We'll see.
To celebrate the title.
He's waiting for it to get sent to him, you know what I mean? But tell us about Tomori, actually, as an English fan of England national team. Wasn't impressed with him last week, but we know he did great things last season, and for AC Milan and over there in Serie A. We're watching Harry Maguire over here, and he's seemingly on his way to the World Cup. For you, should it be Tomori? How good has he been?
Listen, I understand everyone wants Tomori to go. I 100% agree with that. Tomori should be on that plane to Qatar. But this season, he has had a few games where he's been a little bit where he's been either too frantic going to get the ball or out of place, like out of position and stuff. But he is a quality centre-back. But I definitely think he should be going to Qatar, where if Southgate wants to play him, who knows? But there is centre-backs for England right now that I wouldn't say are doing better than him. But, Southgate has his...
Okay, well, listen, moving to the German league. The big game of the weekend, of course, in the German league was Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich winning by 2-0, and Borussia Dortmund came back and drew the game 2-2. Modeste, another French player,
yes.
With the equaliser there in the game. Indeed. If you look at the league over there at the moment, it's Union Berlin.
Surprising, isn't it?
Top of the league. That is a surprise.
I've seen them playing at QPR like a year ago or something like that. They were like playing.
Freiburg in second place. Bayern only in third. They've been having an indifferent season.
And fourth.
Bayern, they've won 4, drawn 4, lost 1. And Borussia Dortmund are in fourth on the same amount of points. 16. Werder Bremen 5th. And Borussia Mönchengladbach in 6th place. But Union Berlin, a real surprise package of this season there. Frankfurt down in 8th at the moment. But what's really interesting in this league is that how much places can move around. But you're normally used to seeing Bayern Munich at the top. Bayer Leverkusen all the way down in 15th at the moment.
That looks like a competitive league, Robbie.
Yeah.
It does not look like a farmers league.
I will say that. I will say the same. So it's not. I don't know. It's just my point, or it's just all of that. But it's not just in the Spanish league. Now we can see the German league. So they are doing a great job because it's not easy win. So we saw the PSG this weekend and just the Barcelona and Real Madrid and now the Bayern Munich or Union Berlin on top. As I don't know what happened next year in a few years in the Europe, but I think that now they are. I think that they are more competitive between them. So it's not easy to get now 3-0, 4-0 like the Italian league as well. So in the German league, I don't know, but hopefully Bayern Munich or Borussia Dortmund, they're going to finish on top of the league.
No, but that's the perfect example when you have English fans always kind of disrespecting the European leagues, Robbie. You smiling because you know where I want to go.
You're talking about me, are you?
No. I'm not saying you, Robbie, but you know that when they say we are, apart from the Premier League, not competitive leagues, i.e. farmers leagues. And well, not only France, but also the Italian league were called Farmers League, the German league as well. La Liga, they were saying that La Liga was only about Barcelona and Madrid, but it's not the case. La Liga is also very competitive. So what we can see now with Union Berlin and what's happening in the Serie A as well, with Udinese, with Napoli and also Atalanta as well, that shows you that when you have big teams, even with big investment, football is more complicated than money. And at the end of the day, you can see
will
that.
Those teams, though, Stuart, be there at the end of the season?
That's the thing. That's the beginning of the season.
And the thing
I
is,
agree.
right, like, you're not honestly telling me that the French league is competitive at the moment.
It is. Marseille are doing well. They look at. Okay, let's check the points now and tell me the difference we have.
Yeah.
Marseille are doing great.
All right, we're gonna get into that discussion. I'm gonna get into that discussion with all of you, right? But let me just we've just run through the Portuguese league. This is quite a competitive league at the moment. In that it's still the same two at the top, but Benfica 25 points there, heading the league at the moment.
Yeah.
Porto on 22 points, just 3 back. Sporting Braga in 3rd place, and Sporting Lisbon, who won it last year, back in 5th place. So it's looking at very competitive in that league. And the Turkish Super League, the team that heads that at the moment is a team called Adana Demirspor. Besiktas in 2nd, Konyaspor in 3rd, and Fenerbahce in 4th. Galatasaray down in 6th, but it is very close. All of them sort of on 18.
I know why, Robbie. I know why. It's because
points.
Icardi is now playing for Galatasaray. That's why we loaned him to Galatasaray. Now they're 6th. That's a good move.
But going back, let's get back on that subject then, right? So let's take a look back in your league. Like you said, at the moment, you're on 26 points. Lorient in 2nd place on 25 points, just a point back. Marseille on 23. Lens is a very good side, by the way, on 21 points. Monaco on 20. So when you look at the league, Rennes on 18 and Lille on 16. There's not a lot in it. It is looking a lot more competitive at the moment. It needs to be competitive, your league, doesn't it? Because you've won it 8 out of the last 10 years.
Yes, and also that after this, there's a lack of interest towards the league as well. If it's not competitive, that's why everyone is fond of the Premier League. Even people outside the UK. You were asking earlier why they put the game, the City game, 1 hour before the Classico. I think because it's it's been like this, as attractive as the Classico. Like people watch that game. I don't know the exact numbers, but they watch everywhere in the world. They watch the Premier League because that's a competitive league and it's the best league in the world. So we need in France more investment. For example, the new owners of Newcastle, they were originally interested in purchasing Marseille, for example. And as far as I hate Marseille, not like you, I hate Marseille. It would have been great for the league to have like that type of investment, so it will bring more competitivity to the league and attraction and attract more players, etc. Monaco was like this when they were owned back in the days by some Russian owners. But the business plan they had was just to buy players and resell them for more, and it was not sustainable. And that's when we lost the league, by the way. When those Russians were here, Monaco won the league. So at the end of the day, modern football is all about investment. So if you're lacking investment, the league is lacking competitivity.
Your owner,
my owner.
they've been talking about
Superliga?
the Super League.
And the
And
Barcelona
how-
president as well, Barcelona president as well.
And Barcelona president.
Something
saying that
is coming.
The Super League is not dead yet. Now we was on a watch along the other day, and you made some very controversial comments.
What
that
did you
I
say?
thought
What
at
did you
the
say?
time that you thought the Super League was a good thing. Now explain to
media.
us why.
Listen, in the way that he was talking, so I think we need to find any solution for this league, because if you know, in a few years you're gonna play alone in Europe if you are investing the money in the same way here in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? So
Real Madrid telling
let me
people
about-
tell you.
If they-
I
if
think
they
that
are in
Real Madrid telling
La Liga
people
is
about money.
La Liga is jealous of the Premier League. That's just a fact, because it's all about the Premier League now. So now the Premier League is actually a super league by itself.
Exactly.
So now,
So then
exactly,
we need
because
to
the
find
money is
any
here, talent
solution.
is here, all the best players want to come and play in this country. So now you're realizing that La Liga is no longer as important than it used to be in the past, such as Serie A, for example. So you're trying to find a solution to make more money. It's not really about football at the end of the day. So
Yeah, I mean, on that point, what Stuart's saying, are your owners interested in making La Liga more competitive, right? Or are they just interested in making more money?
that's the question.
Because the thing is, your league, La Liga, a lot of it's because of the TV deals over there, which are very heavily in favour of Real Madrid and Barcelona and Atletico.
It's not only about the right of the TV, because I just checked the date, the facts yesterday, and you are sharing the 67% for all the team, and we are sharing the 50%. So it's like not too many. It's just because you are getting more money at the end of the league. You know what I mean? So it's true that they share it a different way. But my point is, we need to find any solution, or in a good point is the Super League, or in another point is...
Well, have
But
a
we've
solution.
already
Have a
got
solution
the
for you.
Champions League, haven't we? We've already got the Champions League, which,
Yeah,
by the
but-
way, you win it very regularly.
To be
So
honest, for us, we are waiting after the World Cup for the start the
Have a
Super
solution
League.
for you
For
then.
the start
Do La
the
Liga
UEFA,
against the
champion.
Premier League.
Sorry,
Do La Liga against the Premier League then? Or shall we do Europe against
we
the
can't.
Premier League?
We can't because
Because we're not competing in terms of numbers and everything against the Premier League. So what they want to achieve with this is more competition against the Premier League, basically. And that's why I was surprised that some Premier League clubs were interested in this Super League, because
Well, it was
you
greed.
don't need it. Or now you have this
No,
new
exactly.
Chelsea owner that wants to do North versus South, etc., whatever, do more money and
but
play
we can't do that
4-4-2 or whatever.
for the fair play,
But-
for the fair play
All right,
financiero.
let me ask you, Alessandro, because your league's pretty competitive at the moment. Yeah, I mean we're seeing the dominance of Juventus diminish. Napoli this season having a great season. AC Milan are back. Inter Milan have had a period of dominance. But even some of your clubs were interested and are still interested. I think, I'm not sure if AC Milan, but Juventus
Juve.
still want the Super League, don't they?
Agnelli was part of the three with Perez and
Yeah.
the one from
That said
Barcelona.
no.
They still want
Yeah.
the Super League,
No,
Juventus,
that was
don't they?
part of the main guy that made it was Agnelli and Perez that
Yeah,
were the two.
I
So
remember.
and they're still meeting to do these discussions.
How do the fans feel about it in Italy? I know the fans over there are very, very passionate about their clubs. How do they feel about the Super League talk?
When it came about, it was pretty mixed. Mainly because the league right now, the TV rights and stuff it's just like the teams aren't making money from winning stuff or getting promoted like say the English league. So it was more about, yes, we need to get the money. It was about the greed, but I feel like that wouldn't help. I don't think the Super League would help that, because if we had that Super League and we're getting that money, so is every other team. I don't see how Milan would then get just as good as a Man City just from the Super League. It doesn't.
Well, they're guaranteed in that Super League. They would have all have been guaranteed loads of money, wouldn't they? They've all have been, every one of the big teams in there. None of them would get relegated, so they'd all be guaranteed. They wouldn't have to qualify, so they're guaranteed loads of money, and hopefully, as far as these owners are thinking, loads of TV money. And it's really, again, when I was growing up, remember Channel 4, they used to show. Every week they used to show the Italian league. That was the biggest league at one time. But is it because in these leagues they've not shared the wealth? And now that's kind of come back to bite them a bit.
That's a good question.
I'd say yes, that as well. And I'd also say in the noughties, when the English Premier League was going up with the growth, we were stubborn and stayed the way we wanted, and then halfway through the noughties then had the scandal happened, and then it just set us back another 10 years. And even
Are you referring to the scandal with Juve?
Calciopoli, It wasn't just Juve, it was Milan, Lazio, Fiorentina, there was a few clubs. But for me, the whole league from the start of the 2000s just was so stubborn that they didn't want to change the ways, because in the 90s it was all Serie A, and we were winning even in Europe. We were even with the UEFA Cup. We had Parma winning that. We had these teams winning it, and they thought, it's fine, we'll leave it like this. And then they haven't grown with the times, and now we're struggling. Even the Italian FA are struggling to sort anything out right now.
Let's just move to the Dutch league. The Dutch league at the moment, AZ Alkmaar top that league ahead of Ajax. They're in second place, 1 point back. PSV Eindhoven in third, 1 point back from Ajax, and Feyenoord in fourth place. Again, I saw a stat the other day. Well, it wasn't a stat, it was a fact actually, that the team that got relegated, I think, from the Premier League made £100 million. Ajax, who won the league in Holland, made 9 million for winning it. I mean, that just shows you the gulf in the amount of money.
I'm pretty sure I saw something with Milan made 40 million and Nottingham Forest coming up made 110 million. So it was like, we just won Serie A.
Yeah.
I know we got knocked out in the Champions.
Robbie, is that
why there's sometimes a bit of a little bit of bad feeling towards the Premier League?
Of course.
How do we sort of bring things back to get where, without a Super League? Because I think the thing was, this Super League thing, for me personally, for instance, as a fan of English football, I like teams being, you got to earn it.
Of course.
You get in the top four, you get in the Champions League, you get relegated. Too bad.
The selection process is biased as well.
Arsenal, who used to be in the Champions League all the time, my team, haven't been in there for years. But you know what? I'll take it because we haven't earned it. Now all of a sudden we were going to have this league where you're just in it.
You're just in it, yeah.
Just say Real Madrid this week, Barcelona, PSG. It sounds wonderful for a football fan, but for an English football fan, we're like, no, we don't want to play Real Madrid every week. We want to earn our way into.
Think about the players, Robbie, as well. How many games they're going to play per season? You're already struggling, like when there's a rail strikes or whatever, to just catch up with the games that you missed, etc. Well, what's going to happen then? You will have always players getting injured all the time as well. So it will, in my opinion, it will ruin the game because we already have enough kind of greed competitions or whatever. That's enough. If you want to do this just to go after the Premier League because the Premier League is generating more money, I'm saying this objectively because I'm French. I support PSG and I follow Liga, etc. But if you want to do this because you want to compete against just say it. Just say it. It's just that you want to make as much money as the Premier League and compete with them, and say it and do something on your side. And leave the Premier League, do a European Super League, then just us here, and then we go after them. But it's just I don't get it.
It's gonna be one of them things that go on and on and on. All right, let me go on to because the one thing is all your team, which I'm very jealous of, by the way, being an Arsenal fan. All your teams are in the Champions League, right? And
you will come back.
The Champions League is back tomorrow, right? And AC Milan take on Chelsea in Milan. This is a huge game for you guys. It's a must-win, isn't it?
I wouldn't say must win because I think we could beat Salzburg and Red Bull. But at the San Siro, 70,000 fans. The atmosphere.
Well, you're third in the group right now. I mean, Salzburg topped the group on 5 points. Chelsea 4 points. Chelsea needed to win last week and they did on 4 points. You're back in third on the same amount of points, 4. And Dinamo Zagreb on 3 points. It's a very, very
tight,
even
yeah.
group.
It is a must
Whoever
win,
wins tomorrow puts himself in a great
Good position, yeah.
I think so.
to qualify, and whoever loses is in trouble again, aren't they?
They are. I think Chelsea are a fantastic team, and Potter has brought them out of their shell that they had with Tuchel. But I'm not quietly confident because I'm saying it, but I'm confident we can get 3 points. I think it happened last year actually. Chelsea destroyed Juventus at home, and then Chelsea went to Juventus and lost. But I think the playing style, if we replicate what we did on Saturday against Juventus, everything we did then against Chelsea, and none of what happened on last week against Chelsea, I think we can.
Who's the key players for you tomorrow?
Theo Hernandez, Rafael Leao, Tonali and Benacer in the midfield. We're really missing our goalkeeper Manyan as well. But yeah, they're the 4, I would say.
They're the key players. All right, Real Madrid. You're cruising this group, man. I mean, 9 points. You're virtually qualified. I think if you win tomorrow, that's it.
Yeah.
You're qualified, and you want to get that done and dusted as quickly as possible so you can put your feet up. A lot easier than last year when Sheriff came around. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The Sheriffs are in town, but no.
So.
You're on 9 points. Shakhtar Donetsk second on 4 points. Leipzig, who've been very poor in the group, on 3, and Celtic bottom on 1 point. A win tomorrow, it's done and dusted. You're qualified, aren't you?
I think our job is done, so it's 9 points. So in the group is done. Tomorrow we're gonna have a bit tricky game because we will play with different players. So no.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So you think you rest a lot of players with the Classico at the weekend?
Yeah, sure. So I think
I thought the Champions League was a top priority for Real Madrid.
It is. But
you
You are prioritizing El Clasico.
Yes, but we have 9 points, so we can see and our group. So it's not, we don't have a big team. So we are with 9 points. So, and at the end we are the Real Madrid. So if we have someone in the bench, if you have the opportunity tomorrow, you need to play really well. Maybe Hazard. So I don't know who is Hazard exactly, but maybe tomorrow we can see him. But yeah.
Right. So looking pretty comfortable for you. PSG is your group's getting a little bit interesting, isn't it? I mean, although when you look on it, I think you're battling out to say who's going to win the group,
Yes.
rather than who's going to qualify. You got PSG on 7 points. Benfica have been very good this season,
Yes.
especially when you consider they lost players like Darwin Núñez. They're on 7 points as well. Juventus very disappointing on 3 points. And Maccabi Haifa, the whipping boys of the group, no points yet. But again, a win against Benfica tomorrow, and you're qualified, aren't you? You're there. It's just then really working out who comes top.
Again, I think it's going to be a bit of a tricky game because we have loads of injuries. You were asking him about the key players. I think our key player will be the keeper, because they are pushing a lot, and if we have a clumsy Donnarumma, what he's doing with his feet all the time, I think we can get rusted. I think the midfield will be also crucial, so we're counting on a big Verratti to boss the midfield, and if Messi does not play, it will be the responsibility of Sarabia to also
I don't think
perform.
Messi. They're saying that Messi won't play. Is what
We don't really know yet. But I think if he's not playing, Sarabia will have to play a big role here. So no, I think we can make it. But considering what happened in Lisbon, on the top of the draw and the fact that we scored an own goal and how they treated our fans as well, there is something special tomorrow. We really want to dominate that game at all levels.
Just switching back over into Italian football. Just looking at some of the other Italian teams that are in the Champions League. Napoli going brilliantly. They're top of the group above Liverpool. Again, it's between Liverpool, I think, and Napoli as to who's going to top that group. Napoli looking good, aren't they?
Definitely, I think. Well, I'm not going to say easy 3 points because it's Ajax, but the way they're playing the football, everyone playing at 100%. There's not one person in that team that isn't playing well, and I think it should be easy 3 points.
Inter are doing all right as well, but that's the group of death. I feel that with Bayern Munich, Inter, Barcelona, and Victoria Pleasant. Inter on 6 points. Bayern on 9 and Barcelona only on 3 points. I mean, Barcelona, they can't really afford to rest players, can they? They've got to go for it.
Exactly. So they need to play. They need to play with everything. And to be honest, I was chatting with my friend. They are really confident. I don't know how is the feeling in Italy, but they are really confident because they played at home. So I don't know.
I think Barcelona should win this one.
Yeah?
Inter haven't played well this season. I think Dzeko was their saviour this weekend because Lukaku's been out since August and Lautaro Martinez has scored 1 goal in 9 games. Yeah, so they don't have... Well, they won that game. If we talk about VAR, that penalty they should have had.
We say that as well in the last week, and they won.
All right. So for you, who do you think is going to win that?
Barcelona.
Okay, Barcelona. French teams, Marseille.
Yep.
As well of
Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, Marseille's been Sporting Lisbon. Marseille in their group, they've been a bit weird. Marseille been up and down, but they did get a win in the last game. That group of Sporting topping that, Tottenham in second, Frankfurt in third, and Marseille again very even group. Sporting got 6 points, Tottenham 4, Frankfurt 4, Marseille 4. Could you see Marseille possibly qualifying?
They're playing away. They played in Marseille without their fans. Sporting Lisbon is not a very. It's a hard ground to play. So no, I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to get kicked out of the Champions League again. Thank God.
He's loving it. He's loving it.
I'd love it too.
All right, let me get your predictions on some of the games in it. Let's start to wrap it up. Dinamo Zagreb versus Salzburg.
Zagreb at home.
Yeah.
Ooh,
tough place to go.
I've been
there.
I'll go with Zagreb.
I'm going to say draw.
I've been there. That's a tough. The
Zagreb,
atmosphere there is great.
I would take the Zagreb.
Okay, AC. You're taking Zagreb as well. Are you taking Zagreb to win? All right.
Yeah.
AC Milan versus Chelsea.
I'll go with Chelsea.
Milan.
You got Milan?
I said Milan as well.
Milan?
Are you expecting the same game? Because
the same game against Chelsea?
Yeah.
No way. I'm expecting the game against Juventus and the game against Inter a few weeks ago.
Okay, so we're going Milan on the table.
I'm going Chelsea.
You're going Chelsea?
Yeah, I'm going Chelsea.
After what I saw last week, I think I've got to side with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Sorry,
listen, I want Milan to win. I want Milan to win. Celtic versus Leipzig.
RB
have been poor though.
They're not as good as they used to be.
Great atmosphere there, up there in Scotland. That might push them. They have to win as well.
You said Celtic are bottom of the
bottom of the group, but they have to win.
Okay.
I'm going to draw.
You're going to draw?
A little draw, yeah, something like that.
Okay.
maybe, but
Huh?
maybe, but I'm not sure.
Shakhtar Donetsk versus Real Madrid did trouble them in a few little moments last week.
Might be a surprise,
Modric.
like Sheriff.
We can, but it's a bit tricky.
And you'll have a B team out, really?
I am sure, but it's a bit tricky. We're gonna win.
Why are you not confident? Are you? We are the Real Madrid. Come on, you should dominate this.
His head's on Sunday.
We are We are thinking the Sunday.
You know
we are at the end. We are the Real Madrid. But listen, tomorrow maybe play Hazard, Marco Asensio, Mariano. I don't know.
Asensio is still playing. Okay.
Asensio, yeah, and they're gonna play in the World Cup as well. So it's a bit tricky, and they are doing that great.
I'm
job.
going for if there's going to be a shock in the results, I think this could be it. Only because I think Real Madrid, they've got the group one more or less already. They're just going to rest the whole team for Sunday for the El Clasico.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I don't think they'll lose, but I think I could see a draw.
Draw is a good result as well. So 10 points, and they.
Okay.
FC Copenhagen against Man City. That's going to be a beatdown. I don't think we need to talk about that one. Haaland show. Crazy. Dortmund versus Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Sevilla have been
It's a new
poor.
Mister, really poor.
They've sacked
and
their manager, haven't they?
Yeah.
Sevilla.
This is a disaster. So the same day, so they changed the manager. So they were playing in the Champions League in front of Borussia with the old manager, but the new manager was in Sevilla. So it's a disaster. And they are dangerous because maybe they don't want to play in the UEFA as well. So they're going to the last position in the group. So I don't think that they can win tomorrow in Borussia.
No, Dortmund are playing well as well in the group.
They did against Bayern.
Maccabi Haifa versus Juventus. Surely, if Juventus lose this, that's
Be
the
careful.
end.
Are they playing in Maccabi or
Payoff
Juve?
Maccabi?
They're playing in Maccabi.
Be careful,
Payoff or
tough
no
ground.
payoff for
Tough
Allegri.
ground.
Surely he'll be gone. I mean, the fans must. Do they want him gone? He's still. It reminds me sort of like when Arsene Wenger was at Arsenal.
No,
They still love him, don't they? But they want him out now.
A lot of fans want Allegri out. I don't. Allegri's not one of. Well, there is a few that like him, but Allegri's not like Conte, where if he came back and did rubbish, he would be like they would have more fans. I think a lot of want Allegri out because it's just.
You think they'll get the win tomorrow against?
I think they'll win against Maccabi, but then they've got Benfica and PSG after. So
Yeah. Okay. PSG versus Benfica.
PSG.
Okay.
For sure, 100%.
I thought you might say that. Napoli versus Ajax, based off of last week.
Napoli.
Surely Napoli when they're at home. Rangers versus Liverpool. I think Liverpool.
yeah, Rangers.
Will
do
win.
very well.
Oh, you're putting doubt on that. You don't think-
You say they're playing in
Rangers at
Scotland.
home.
They're playing in Scotland, but I
Ah,
think
you see,
Liverpool. The thing is about Liverpool, defensively at the moment they're poor, but going forward they're still got top players.
There's a bit of a rivalry between those clubs as well.
Yeah,
Liverpool and
yeah.
Rangers.
No Luis Diaz.
No Luis Diaz, no Trent Alexander-Arnold, but
I'm going with Rangers. I'm going
You're
with
going
Rangers.
Rangers?
I'm going Rangers. I think it will be a surprise.
Ooh, shock.
Yeah.
What are you going with?
I will take the Liverpool because if they lose tomorrow, I don't know what happened in England. Eh?
That would be a disaster.
It's a disaster. It's a disaster.
Everyone
would
will,
be a
like you
disaster.
will
Yeah,
say,
everyone
club
will
out,
say-
club out.
Yeah.
Say your favourite.
Atletico Madrid versus Bruges.
Bruges.
Bruges on the
Bruges,
top
they're
of the
top
table.
of
Bruges-
the
Bruges are
Bruges
playing
are
well.
smashing
They're
it.
top of
They are top of the group.
Bruges, 100%.
But
They are really
Atletico
good.
at home, surely.
Yeah, but
and going back to
exactly.
that,
I'll say
Tricky.
draw.
We played
Atletico-
Bruges so
Yeah,
many
but
times.
they-
It's so tricky to play them. I'll go with Bruges, 100%.
Atletico have to win this game, don't
Exactly,
they, really?
for that. I will take the Atletico, but just for because they play at home.
They're bottom of the group, Atletico.
Yeah, maybe just 1-0.
Shocking.
1-0 for Atletico, like always, like Cholo. But they need to win.
All right.
If not, they go out.
If Griezmann
Champions
plays
League.
the entire game, they might
Well, he can now, isn't he? He can play the entire game. So Atletico, Bayer Leverkusen versus Porto. I'm going Porto in this
Porto,
game. I
yeah,
think
Porto as well.
Leverkusen not been great this season. Barcelona versus Inter. Come on, Raul.
I need to choose with my hair or with my
Your head.
Your head.
My head. So I will take Barcelona. But
You can say that, you know. Say it again.
no,
So, Barcelona.
I think the Barcelona can
Barcelona.
win the UEFA. Yeah.
No, but you're biased as well because you don't want Inter to go
I've
for
not
either.
No, no.
I don't really care for any of. None of our Serie A are getting anywhere anyway. So.
Just
So Barcelona for you.
Barcelona,
Yeah, Barcelona as well.
Victoria Pleasant versus Bayern. That's Bayern
Yeah,
all day.
yeah.
Sporting versus Marseille.
I'm going. As I said, I'm going Sporting because they got the red card in Marseille. It was a very dodgy red card as well, and I think that, like us, there's a big payback. They want to prove that normally they deserve to at least draw against them. So I think Sporting will go for it. I think they play in Portugal as well. So yeah, I'm going Sporting. Not because I'm biased and because I hate Marseille. It's because but objectively,
yeah, just
I think they will make it.
Okay. I'll do the next one. Tottenham versus Frankfurt. Come on, Frankfurt. No, but I think Tottenham will have too much for Frankfurt in that game. And of course, did we do PSG? Yeah, we did PSG.
Yeah, we
Benfica.
did, we just did.
Yeah, so those are the games. Some big games coming up for your guys' clubs. And really looking forward to it in the Champions League and also in your leagues. Good luck.
Thank you.
In the El Classico.
Thank you.
Good luck. What do they call
Thank you.
What do they call your derby again? That's got a name as well.
Le Classique, which is the equivalent of El Clasico.
Le
It's
Classique.
actually, the name is inspired by El Clasico because El Clasico was the first one, so it's called Le Classique.
What's AC Inter called?
Derby della Madonnina. It's the of Mary. The
Derby of
because it's a little, maybe
I
the
was about to
Classico
say-
is the same city that the Derby, no? So
Yeah, I was about to say none of them had the ring of the North London Derby, but after you said that, say it again.
Derby della Madonnina.
I think that takes it.
If I can add something before the end of the show,
Yes.
Robbie, if you allow me.
Of course.
We today released our brand new podcast with David Ginola, who's a
Wow.
PSG legend and also a legend of
played for
football in
Tottenham,
this
yeah,
country.
yeah.
He's actually talking about
Newcastle legend,
Tottenham,
Newcastle
but he's
legend.
talking more about Newcastle. Actually,
Yeah.
that's very true. So go give it a check. It's on our YouTube channel, and
Brilliant.
I would like to
We'll
thank
put a
you
link
as
in
well
the-
because you gave me the opportunity to.
No, that's
kick off
brilliant.
this
So,
and
Ginola-
thank you for this.
On your podcast, everyone go and check that out.
Exactly.
We'll put a link in the description for that.
Thank
That's
you very
brilliant.
much. I appreciate
Where,
that.
where can they find you for more information on AC? Your Twitter account, then.
Yeah, Twitter. Probably AC Milan Club London on Instagram as well. If you're a Milan fan, that's the best place to go. A massive club, about over 400 now we have.
Yeah,
so
that's massive
Milan
for
Club
fan
London, go and check them out on Instagram.
Okay, and Raul?
yes, hi Raul. H-E
Hi,
Raul.
Raul.
Yeah. Hi Raul. Yeah. Yeah,
Check
yeah.
out all of them. Check out all of them. Listen, I want to thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you,
We're
Rob.
going to
Thank
make
you,
this a
Lewis.
regular show. I love the insight from these guys because you know what? Sometimes we just brush over these leagues, but when you listen to these guys, they know everything about their leagues inside out, and I love the insight, right? So we'll be back with more of these. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports, like this video, and we'll be back. Good luck to all your sides.
Cheers. Thank
Big
you.
games this
Thank you.
weekend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're gonna be
Thank
looking
you.
at, we'll be back. You know what? As a matter of fact, we're back next Monday because we need to find out what happened.
Yeah, we do.
Let's find out.
Yeah, we need to find the solution.
You will come if you lose?
Yeah,
Barcelona?
sure. Always.
I don't think you'll turn up if you Marseille.
Well, I'll just stay in Paris, mate. That's it. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
stay in
send one
Paris.
of my mate and go for it.
But enjoy it. You're going to be at the game, so enjoy that as well.
I will
right?
be. Thank
So
you very
listen,
much.
Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.